Hi, this is Alexis from the Kiteboarder Magazine. I'm here at the 2018 North Dealers Meeting with Sky Solback, and people have been asking me about this foil, and I said he keeps it underneath his bed. It's so secret. And yet now he's pulled two out of underneath the bed, and here we are. Let's talk about him, Sky.
Well, yeah, it's here. It's finally here. This is the 2018 North Speedster Foil. We're really stoked to introduce this to the market. We've been working on this for quite a while now, and we're really happy with what we've ended up with here. So yeah, let's talk about it. So basically you can see we're running a plate system. We have aluminum plate, aluminum strut, and then what makes this foil really unique construction-wise is the material we've used for the wings and the fuselage. They're actually molded out of a stuff that we're calling carbon 50. So this is a carbon compound. It's basically a carbon and PA mix, and it's molded, and it's really stiff and really strong. The cool thing about this material, unlike carbon, traditional carbon, you can actually drop this on the ground and run it into the sand bottom or the rock bottom, and you're barely ever going to get any scratches on this stuff. This stuff is super mega durable, which makes it great, especially if you're learning to foil and you're not, you don't have to be super gentle with it. You can kind of knock it around, and it's not really going to get dinged up.
I mean, folks, I'm telling you, I was at the dealers meeting when I watched Tilly, your CEO, drop it on the ground and then stomp on it.
And he's not a small guy.
Dude, he is like a big guy.
He's a solid 220.
Yeah. And every dealer there mouth was on the floor going, oh no. I thought I heard a like, ah, from grown men. And there wasn't a scratch on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not saying it's totally unbreakable by any means, but I would definitely say it's really, really strong material.
I was scared.
I was a little scared too.
I know, I saw it. We were all scared. But, I mean, this thing, compared to carbon, it was wow.
Yeah, you would never be able to do that with carbon, that's for sure. It would snap. So, yeah, it's a really strong, durable material. Performance-wise with this foil, who's this foil for? It's for basically anyone. You can learn to ride on this foil, but even if you're a really good foiler, I think you can appreciate the type of performance that this foil offers. So it comes up at a really slow speed, and it has a really big speed range. So a lot of foils in the market you'll find are kind of either geared towards the low end, where they're kind of slow and draggy, or really high-end race foils, which are then really hard to ride. So we tried to strike a nice balance between the two, and really that's thanks to the type of profile that we used on our wing.
And your winglets.
It comes up really early, gets you up and planing in light wind, but it doesn't top out too quickly. Okay. And then, yeah, of course, the winglets, this is what gives you the track stability. So it's kind of acting like a fin on a surfboard. It just gives you a really nice sense of stability and kind of a real direct feel in the water. And that's especially noticeable when you engage in a turn and a carve. It just kind of really tracks through the carve and gives you a nice sense of where the foil is under your feet and a real sort of connected feel.
Now people ask me all the time, well, can you slow it down? Can you speed it up? And you guys have got a wedge for the back, right?
Yes. The wedge is really cool. That's something that you would use especially when you're beginning to foil. Like I said, this foil comes up really quickly at a slow speed, which is great once you know what you're doing. But if you're a beginner, you can put the wedge in here, and that basically just reduces the angle of attack on the back wing and makes it lift slower. So it's not going to take you by surprise and come up at a really slow speed. You kind of have to get a bit of board speed first before it rises. So just makes it that much easier for beginners. Now,
and you're going to come out with a couple different maths lengths and wings?
Yep. This is our stock 90 cm strut that it's coming out with, and then of course you'll have the option to buy a shorter 65 as well.
And different. This is are you going to come out with like a surf foil one and like different ones?
That's definitely in the plans for the future. Right now we're just offering this first kite wing, which is the Speedster, and then there'll definitely be more stuff to follow in the coming months. Yeah.
Okay, well now it looks like kind of a twin tip board over here. Let's flip this sucker around, and kind of flexy and kind of thin and kind of sexy looking with this kind of cork thing on here. And
yeah. Yeah, like you said, this is twin tip construction. This is made at our factory in Austria. We've done some really cool things with this board. First, starting with the type of core we used. All our twin tips actually have a wood core, but what we did with this is we actually used balsa. We used a mix of balsa wood to keep it really light. And then in the places where we need the stiffness and the structure, we've used a really hard peach wood. So with those different mixes of material, it makes it really strong and stiff, but still able to keep the weight down.
Now, and you can see the wood inlay, and you've got some crazy looking wood here. It looks like a rings from a tree. What's up with that?
Yeah, normally you wouldn't be able to look and see these rings like this, because normally when you do a wood core, the grains are oriented this way. But what we did with this, with the balsa, it's actually the offcuts, the end cuts of the balsa. So the grains are actually going from top to bottom, because balsa has really good compression strength, but if you were to run it the other way, your board would probably split apart. So we kind of did it in a smart way where we flipped it on end, and you get all that compression strength and the light weight of the balsa. But then, you know, we have the peach wood, which gives it the structure and the stiffness that it needs.
Now, and I noticed the nose is a little bit on the floppy side. People are like, whoa, 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 what's up with the floppy nose there? I mean, it's a little wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, well, it's definitely got some flex, but don't be scared. It's actually meant to do that. So it actually tapers. It's thickest back here where the foil is, where it really needs the structure, and then tapers off to be really thin in the nose. It's actually really nice to have that flexibility in the nose, because when you come down and crash, you know, come down nose first.
Bounce. Don't say crash. Don't say crash.
Not crash, but when you come down off the foil and the nose hits the water, it actually kind of increases the rocker and helps you kind of get back up on the foil again. So
pushback off system, huh?
Exactly. It kind of increases the rocker and up you go.
Nice. Yeah. And this kind of crazy looking corky stuff you got here. What's up with that?
This stuff is really cool. This is a.
It looks slick. I mean, it doesn't look like it has much grip on it at all. And I'm like kind of thinking it's a little thin.
Well, the cool thing about this, so this is a rubberized cork material. So this is like an industrial material. It's used on yachts. It's used like around pools and wet areas. And this stuff is really strong. And like you said, it's not abrasive. It's kind of almost, I wouldn't say slick, but it's not abrasive when it's dry. But as soon as it gets wet, it gets really grippy. So you don't need wax. You don't need a pad. You can just go right on this stuff, and it feels great under your feet.
Cool. And obviously, you still have the inserts for people that want to ride with straps.
Yep, you can ride it strapless, or it comes with 3-foot straps, so you can choose to either ride the split front strap, or you can do a single center front strap, and of course the single back strap.
Nice. And moving on next, you've got this what looks like to be like a race board over here, beveled edges, real fast and slick and smooth looking. What's up with this?
Yeah, so this is our other our other foil board. This is the Pro Foil. This was kind of roughly developed out of sort of what's going on in kite racing. Although it is kind of an all-round board, it's not meant to be a dedicated race board. But we got a lot of feedback from one of our racers, Ollie Bridge, who is one of the best kite foil racers in the world, as most people probably know. And his feedback was really valuable in developing this board. So it's got a couple really cool things going on. We found with the foil boards that having a really flat deck helps you to get the maximum amount of leverage over the foil. It gives you a really good sense of control. With this one, we've gone even a little step further and done a bit of a double concave, so your heel actually sits sort of recessed into the deck, and that just gives you really good leverage and really good control over the foil.
Well, let's flip it over, because you got some beveled edges there, my friend.
Yeah, and we got some other cool stuff going on the bottom of the board. So we've got these really defined bevels on the bottom. This really does two things. The main function of it is when you're over on the rail and you're flying upwind, that you can get the foil really deep in the water and you can really hike upwind, and the rails being raised out of the water obviously are not dragging in the chop, so you have minimal drag. You're not catching any rails. The other effect is that it reduces the surface area on the nose, so if you do crash down with the nose is not a big flat surface that's going to stick. It's kind of a smaller surface that's going to bounce off and not have as much drag.
Cool. And then the track system is adjustable also?
Yep, we've got an adjustable track system. So we have our recommended setting here, and then of course if you want to play around with it and adjust it for your own personal liking, you can go forward or back, or if you're using a foil from a different brand, of course you can put that on this board and have some adjustment as well.
Okay. Now, I know we didn't go over all the real specifics, board size, volume, all that stuff, which I mean I know people are going to ask. Where can they go and find more info on that?
They can find all the info on our website, northkiteboarding.com, or of course go to your local dealer and he'll tell you all about it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sky.